organic, unpredictable, unknown, lovely, beautiful, a sense of fulfillment. This is part of the pleasures of life and not the chores of life.
Coming up on Daily Iowan TV, some bright red flags may have jumped out at you this week. We'll tell you why they're flying around campus.
And one university employee is under some serious heat this week. We have the latest on the controversy coming right up.
And in sports, the ups and downs of being a Hawkeye. Coverage from a busy weekend of Hawkeye sports is on the way.
That and much more is coming right up. Daily Iowan TV starts now.
I'm Tom Brokaw. For more than 100 years now, the University of Iowa community has been waking up to the Daily Iowan. Today, it's the largest newsroom in eastern Iowa. And now you can see the news every night on Daily Iowan TV and get it anytime worldwide at dailyiowan.com.
Thanks for tuning in to your Sunday edition of Daily Iowan TV. I'm Brad Maxwell.
And I'm Lauren Moss. University of Iowa Athletic Advisor Dr. Peter Gray was accused of sexual harassment. According to documents obtained by the Press Citizen, Gray is accused of inappropriately touching students and bartering sport tickets for sexual favors, among other complaints. University officials are refusing to comment on the case, and it's unclear how the Press Citizen got a hold of these documents. Read tomorrow's Daily Iowan from input from athletes who knew Gray.
Johnson County Auditor Tom Slock has no intention of finishing out his term quietly. The longtime official recently spent $58,000 more than was allowed in his budget. County supervisors were angry about the unapproved purchases. Late last week, Slockett spoke out again in defense of the purchase. The excess money was spent on 70 new laptops, among other equipment to be used for voting. Slockett defended the purchases by saying, quote, "This equipment was especially needed in precincts providing voting services to polling places and serving students in rural residents." Slockett was voted out as auditor in the June preliminaries and will be replaced by Travis Wiepert next year.
And sometimes it's hard to see the red flags in an abusive relationship, and that is why the University of Iowa is helping spread the word to fight dating violence. Daily Iowan TV reporter Eric Dawn took a deeper look into what the university is doing to help keep you safe.
You may have been wondering what all those little red flags around campus were this week. The University of Iowa is teaming up with the Red Flag campaign to help fight dating abuse. The goal is to help students identify the causes of this abuse and prevent them in the future. Jacob Oppenheimer, a men's anti-violence coordinator on campus, explains more.
Almost half of all college students reported at least being involved in a relationship with either verbal, physical, or emotional violence. And almost a third reported being involved in a relationship where they were physically hit at least once, if not more. And this is almost 3 times the national average.
The University Red Flag website provides students information on the different forms of abuse, as well as resources that will help you cope with any struggles.
The Women's Resource and Action Center here across the street from the IMU, we also provide in-house counseling as well as referrals to students, and we are a confidential center as well. So even if you don't know who to talk to, Deb, who is our administrative assistant, can get you in contact with a whole number of sources on campus.
If you or anyone else you know is suffering from dating abuse, there are several support groups available that offer counseling. The phone numbers listed here can be contacted during normal business hours Monday through Friday. If there is any immediate danger, please dial 911 emergency. This is Eric Dawn, Daily Iowan TV.
And be on the lookout for the Healthy Relationships video series this Thursday that will feature students telling their stories of abuse.
And still to come on Daily Iowan TV, a pool of cultures all in one room. We'll tell you what's responsible for bridging all of these groups together.
And in sports, with postseason hopes all but dashed, Daily Iowan TV Sports brings you a fresh perspective on the Hawks' task ahead.
But first, let's check in with Stefan Duran for a look at this week's weather. It was a cold and rainy day today. Please tell me things will brighten up a little bit this week.
Well, Brad, we did see some warm and rainy weather earlier today, but you might want to break out the warm mittens this week. Tomorrow it looks like we will stay dry by starting things off in the morning at a chilly 27 degrees. The skies will start to look partly cloudy in the afternoon, and we will only see highs in the mid-30s. Later in the evening, temps won't dip down too much though, still with low temps in the mid-30s. Now let's take a look at what the rest of the week has to offer. Tuesday and Wednesday look to be similar with partly cloudy to sunny skies and high temps around the mid-40s and freezing lows. Thursday and Friday will be hopefully a little warmer with highs of 50 degrees both days. But unlike Friday, there may be a slight 20% chance of rain on Thursday. Finally, we will start the weekend off on Saturday with cloudy skies and cool temps in the mid to upper 40s. That's all I have for weather. Back to you guys at the desk.
Students from all over the world came together to celebrate their heritage at the Cultural Ball Saturday night. Dressed in bright costumes and wide smiles, performers entertained a wide variety of audience members. Daily Iowan reporter Rebecca Hager was there to capture the entertainment.
Students from every corner of the world gathered in the IMU ballroom. They left their cultural barriers backstage and celebrated their cultural differences in the limelight. Performances by Hawkeye Bhangra, the Irish dancers, Iowa Andi, and others created a night filled with culture, costumes, and creativity. But for the dancers, the passionate performances represented so much more.
It's one of the only ways I could actually represent my culture and spread awareness.
Dance, music, and conversation brought together an array of unique students from all over the world, including
I came from Wuhan City.
The city called Pune.
In the Mongolian.
Shanghai, China. Over 3,400 international students from 111 different countries attend the University of Iowa. Students from Europe all the way down to Africa, all the way over to Asia, all united in America by one university in the heartland state of Iowa. United by one school, but diversified by many cultures, students at the Cultural Ball enjoyed an event where they could celebrate home. Rebecca Hager, Daily Iowan TV.
The ball was hosted by Oasis, the Asian American Coalition, and Students Abolishing Slavery.
And now for a look at what's happening outside of Iowa. Damaged homes is the reality for many New Jersey families after Hurricane Sandy struck, displacing thousands. And now these families are frantically searching for temporary homes, and real estate offices are buzzing with calls. Real estate agents say the demands far outweigh the supply, and many families are being placed on a waiting list.
And a huge crowd of disgruntled Greeks filled the streets of Athens Sunday to protest a parliamentary meeting on the country's 2013 budget. The new budget is expected to once again cut pensions and salaries so Greece can qualify for rescue loans. The legislation expected to pass and be voted on by midnight.
After keeping their nose out of Syria, Israel was finally dragged into the fight today after a mortar shell landed near an Israeli military site. Israel fired warning shots across the border after the mortar shell landed. Although Israeli officials believe the shots weren't intended for Israel, they do believe it came from Syrian government forces.
Today is Veterans Day, and communities are celebrating across the country. Here in Iowa City, celebrations started early as fans gathered for what was one of the most memorable pregame shows in Kinnick Stadium on Saturday. Fans saw an American flag cover the entire field during the national anthem and were treated to a flyover a few moments later. Players also wore special uniforms to commemorate veterans during the game. But it was another Saturday, same story. The Hawks come up short at home versus Purdue, dropping their fourth straight conference game. Cody Goodwin is in the Daily Iowan TV sports studio with more. Cody?
That's right, Brad. The Veterans Day salutes may have been the only thing worth cheering for in Kinnick on Saturday in what Daily Iowan football reporter Ben Ross dubbed as, quote, the Battle of the Disappointments. This past Saturday, Iowa continued its losing ways for a fourth straight week, meaning the Black and Gold will head into Ann Arbor, next weekend, having not won a game in over a month. Daily Iowan sports football reporters Ian Martin and Eric Don rewind to bring you back from on-the-field action from inside Kinnick Stadium on Saturday, while also jumping ahead to bring you more from Iowa's future.
T-shirt weather in Kinnick Stadium in early November. It was unseasonably hot, and the Boilermakers got off to a hot start themselves. Akeem Shaver is running the ball in 7-0 Purdue in the first quarter. Second quarter now, Akeem Hunt fumbles deep in his own zone, and Iowa eventually would score to tie the game. Later in the quarter, though, Robert Marv scrambling, finding a wide-open Gabe Holmes, 14-7 Purdue at halftime. Third quarter now, it's 17-14 Purdue at this point. A long Ralph Bolden run sets up a Boilermaker touchdown. They go up by 10. But Iowa gets it back when Purdue's on offense. Micah Hyde, the senior for Iowa, was Saturday, makes it 24-21. Purdue 24 all now, but Damon Bullock still cannot get it going. A huge hit in the fourth quarter, so Iowa would have to rely on James Vandenberg to run the football. Less than 2 minutes left in the game. Vandenberg scrambling deep in his own territory and getting the first down, and then more. He gained 55 yards on the ground. Less than a minute to go. 4th and 3 for Iowa. They cannot decide on their own 35 whether or not to kick the field goal. The wind was going against them. Iowa decides to throw the ball. Zach Derby cannot get the first down. Purdue, some thinking they might just go to overtime. Instead, Robert Marv scrambles. 10 seconds left now. Marv finds Antavian Edison downfield 20 yards, sets up a 46-yard field goal for Paul Griggs as time expires. Purdue silencing Kinnick. For more on the loss, here's Eric Dawn.
The weather in Iowa City is certainly appropriate for the mood around town. A day after 75,000 strong packed Kinnick Stadium, only to see the Hawkeyes lose their 4th straight Big Ten game, effectively washing away any hopes of a postseason appearance. The Hawkeyes must win their remaining 2 games against Michigan and Nebraska respectively in order to become bowl eligible. Now, like today's weather, the mood in the locker room was dark, but football players are only focusing on one game, saying they don't need to win 2 games, they need to win a game. Now, Iowa travels to Ann Arbor to take on the Wolverines next Saturday, looking to extend their 3-game winning streak over the Wolverines. Reporting from Kinnick Stadium and in the rain, Eric Dawn, Daily Iowan TV.
And if you think the rain was pouring today, you should have been inside Carver Hawkeye Arena, where behind Zach McCabe's 4-for-4 performance behind the arc, the Hawks routed University of Texas Pan American 86-55 in front of, get this, 14,859 fans, the highest attendance recorded in Carver since 2001. Daily Iowan TV basketball reporter Kate Constable has the coverage.
The men's basketball team took on Texas Pan America on Friday night for their home opener. 14,000 people in attendance, the most since 2001. Devin Marble started things off for the Hawks with a little floater in the lane to put them up 7-2. And then it was Aaron White who had a huge game yesterday here with the layup and one. That wasn't all, though. A couple possessions later, White again with the steal and the huge one-handed jam. He went on to have 16 points that evening. Then it was Texas Pan America's turn here with the layup, but called off for traveling. They had 19 turnovers on the evening. Hawks come out at halftime, leading 45-24. Then to start the second half, it's Eric May with a little dribble jumper. He played 24 minutes, most tied with Mike Cassell. And then it was Josh Oglesby's turn from behind the arc. He drained this one, but only shot 1 of 5 from 3-point. And then, once again, Aaron White with a huge jam, but he wasn't done there. Mike Cassell with the dribble, little dish off to White as he goes up for the and one. Again, he had 16 points on the evening, the most for the Hawks. Then it was Texas Pan America's turn. They get the quick layup here, but that wasn't enough to stop the Hawks. Freshman Anthony Clemens comes down, not 1 rebound, but 2, and puts it back in. Hawks go on to win 86-55.
And one last word before we head out today. The curtain closed on the 14th-ranked University of Iowa women's field hockey team this season as they fell to the 7th-ranked Virginia Cavaliers 3-2 in the first round of the NCAA Field Hockey Championships in Charlottesville, Virginia. The Field Hawks, participating in their Big Ten Conference leading 22nd NCAA tournament appearance, finished the season at a 14-7 clip. And that's all for us here at the Sports Desk. Back to you guys up front.
Thanks, Cody. And only with Daily Iowan TV can get a sneak peek into Monday's edition of the Daily Iowan. Read about what tasty Iowa City pizza place is celebrating its 50th anniversary.
And for all you rock climbers, the Rex Wall is off limits following an accident involving a UI student. Tune in tomorrow to read more.
That's your latest edition of Daily Iowan TV. Be sure to check us out the same time tomorrow or anytime online at dailyiowan.com.
Thanks for watching and have a great night.